Okay, so let's move on from Asia. What do we have now? Okay, let's go to Syria then.
Okay,
sir, I'm sorry, tell me your name.
Oh, I'm Caleb with RT.
Kyle. Oh, right, Caleb.
So, this recent statement from the White House alleging that the Syrian government was planning an upcoming chemical attack. Are you concerned that that could have created an opening for terrorist groups to carry out a chemical attack?
No.
You're not concerned, even though al-Nusra, al-Qaeda groups have been using chemical weapons in Syria? That's documented?
No. Next question on Syria.
Well, I mean, they could carry out a chemical attack, and then with the White House saying, oh, Assad was going to do it, that would create a cover for them to do such a thing.
Do I have to do this again? We know that Assad has used chemical weapons on his own people, and he's done that repeatedly.
Well, hasn't the United States convinced the world that
including women and children, and we have all seen that. We have all seen the video, and there is no debate about that. Okay.
So
I'm going to.
Didn't Assad give up his chemical weapons in 2013?
No.
Didn't that happen?
No.
That didn't happen. So the
let's go over to you. Anything else on Syria?
Yeah. You said before, are you saying that al-Qaeda has not used chemical weapons?
I'm not going to get into this conversation with you about this. Because, no. You want to have a debate, okay, about a hypothetical, okay, and I'm not going to get into a debate.
That there's a pending chemical attack,
I'm not going to get into a debate about a hypothetical.
But if you announce that, then they could carry out an attack, and it would look like the government did it. I mean, isn't that a real possibility?
If you want to try to make excuses for the Assad regime, go right ahead.
Talking about
You've
Assad.
got a lot of cameras on you right now.
I'm talking about al-Qaeda.
Okay, and I'm not going to spend all our folks' time having that conversation. We all know here in this room that Bashar al-Assad is responsible for chemical attacks on his own people, including women and children. We are not going to debate it beyond that. Al-Qaeda, horrible too, but what we're talking about right now is Assad and Syria.
Well, I asked you about al-Qaeda.
Next
That's
question.
what I was asking for clarification.
Something else on Syria? Russia? Okay, let's go to Russia.
What is happening. I want people to think for a minute, because the president took an enormous amount of criticism over the subject of the Syria bombing, non-bombing, when he made the decision to go to Congress, even though he had decided to bomb. It was his decision to decide to bomb that helped to bring people together so we could cut the deal that got 100% of the declared chemical weapons out of Syria. And people, nevertheless, have been critical of one day of bombing versus the virtue of getting 100% of the chemical weapons out of Syria. And I ask any of those critics today, where do you think you would be if ISIL today had access to those chemical weapons in Syria? A terrorist organization with weapons of mass destruction. But because of what we did, we got 100% of the weapons out, and they don't have access to those extraordinary weapons. So I think people need to sort of step back and really measure outcomes.